Hey guys, what's up? It's Kevin for the win here for Dreadscape Gaming. Today, by popular request, we are going to be playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Brook Boys Unite, because we are not playing, obviously, Mario Kart World. I do not have a Nintendo Switch 2. I did recently get some new Joy-Cons. That's the reason I haven't really been playing too many Switch games on the channel as of late. We're going to be just doing some very casual verse races, usual custom 150cc races. I'm going to be taking some of your requested character combinations, as well as car combinations, wheel combinations. Ironically, a lot of you guys ended up sending me meta game stuff via social medias and email, when I actually asked these guys to send me anything but non-meta. But we're going to work with most of the requests that were given today. Hopefully we'll be able to get a couple of wins. So one of the things that people have recommended was Pauline, with a circuit special, and I believe it was the rollers, was it, that they said? I am checking on my notes here. Azure rollers, I believe, is what they said, was it? Or was it Crimson Slim? No, I think it was Azure rollers, but that looks weird. Okay, we'll take it anyway. And paper glider, I think, was the option that they said. That or the cloud. So, let's see. Let's look at the options. I want to make sure I don't take the wrong parasail here. A lot of them, obviously, that were recommendations that people gave was the buggy. You know, the teddy bear buggy with the cloud and the zero rollers. So we'll see. Maybe it wasn't. Looks like the one they recommended was the GLA tires here. With... is it a cloud? No. It has to be with the paper glider, because this, to me, doesn't make too much sense. But we'll try it. This is something that one of the viewers requested here, so we'll keep the paper glider. Yeah, that's it. I'm checking the notes again. So we're gonna do 150cc race, no teams, the regular usual items that you would see, the run-of-mill, everything is on here, as you can see. And I'm gonna be just like jumping around from my favorite tracks, and then I'll pick some random tracks as well, and we'll just kind of chill today. This is a chill stream. The good thing about this type of game, even though it's kind of sweaty, it gives me the opportunity to give a little bit of chatting sessions with all of you, which I haven't been able to do really a whole bunch of chatting as of late. Like, I know there's a lot of contention on the channel right now because of certain decisions that I've made. Like, I know one of the things that's come up quite a bit is why I got rid of the VTuber model. I just don't feel like being a VTuber anymore. I've kind of gone into detail in the past as to why I just don't really vibe with the community anymore. If I remember, I got hit A on 2, right? I think I was a little late there for the boost, but it's fine. And this game, for all of you know, it's all about pretty much drifting. So you just cut the corners. I think with Pauline in this car, we should be able to have some decent handling. Like, I'm not like a super metagame player of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, keep that in mind. Like, I just kind of recently got halfway decent with Mario Kart Deluxe, so we'll hope we can get like some good things going here. Let's throw the turtle shell there. Okay, sweet. Yeah, so like, you know, I just don't feel like being a VTuber anymore. I hope a lot of people can kind of understand that. I know it's something that's kind of difficult for people sometimes to wrap their brain around. The other thing that has been coming up is like why I've been playing a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Well, a lot of people know I do play TCGs on a very professional level, as well as I'd like to play TCGs in general. I played Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel on the channel quite a bit. Even before really I got like into the VTubing thing, I was still playing Master Duel on this channel as well as on Twitch. So really the reason is because I do like card games, even though I do mull quite a bit because I feel like Master Duel is a bit unbalanced. We're definitely in first place. I'm sorry because my icon is blocking that, but I like to put it up on the channel too because I don't want people like stealing my footage to use for their own videos. That's why I have the Warlock logo up, because obviously that's where my VTuber model used to be, and I gotta protect my stuff so that people don't pass my gameplay off as their own in a video. But like I was saying, yeah, you know, so I've been playing Master Duel quite a bit because, as I mentioned, my computer, laptop has just gone through a lot of trouble, as problems starting up ever since I've really installed Windows 11 H24 H2, I believe was the update, and that was like around December of last year. I started to have like intermittent issues where my startup just would like not boot, like my computer wouldn't boot normally, and then it got progressively worse, and then I took it, as I've mentioned before, to a lot of computer repair shops. I took it to the original computer repair shop for my laptop, well, not, I didn't really take it to them. I called them on the phone, right? Because I was like, is this another motherboard issue? Like, you assured me that my computer was going to be just fine after fixing motherboard. I spent, what was it, like $400 on the motherboard. It's $375 total. And the response that I got was like, oh, well, if it's the same issue, we will fix it again for you gladly at a discounted rate. But if it's not, it's free $70.05. You know, just in general. And I'm like, how is that like a general fix for a computer? Because like, our repair shops usually for stuff will tell you, oh, well, it's the PSU unit. You got to replace this. This is like $150. Oh, it's your battery. Oh, it's stuff. So what ended up happening, as I've mentioned before here on the channel, but if you're new and you're kind of wondering why, and you've been with me for what, the last like month or two, and you've just recently subscribed, which I greatly appreciate, by the way. What ended up happening is I did not take it to that computer repair shop because I felt like they're just were going to do stuff and not tell me what exactly they fixed, like the last time where they told me it was a motherboard issue, but they didn't say what. So I took it then to a repair shop for diagnostic, right? And I told them I thought it was like the power supply unit, because usually on computers, when you have startup issues, primarily the first thing that they take a look at is the PSU power supply unit. And what ended up happening was I took it to that shop, and the shop ran the diagnostic. It was supposed to be the same day, but they didn't call me back. They called me back the next day to say that... They didn't even call me, they sent me a text message, actually. And they told me that my computer needed a new battery, and that if I... You know, and keep in mind my computer already had the battery removed, because when the motherboard issue originally had started, they were going to try to sell me like a new battery, and so my battery was no good. So I was like, just take the battery out, and it'll be fine. Like, if I could use it without the battery, it's fine, which they told me that I could, right? So this new place then told me, like, oh, there's nothing wrong with your computer, it just needs a new battery. I'm like, how is that going to be possible if I was having startup issues? So I go and I, like, ask for an explanation, and they were telling me, like, they were going to charge me $300 to put a new battery practically in place of it. They were like $275, I think was the number they were asking for me. And they're like, oh, if we put the battery in and there's something else that's wrong, then we'll take it from there and charge you more money. I was like, yeah, I kind of know a scam when I see one. So these people, I asked them when I went to the computer repair shop if they could turn on my laptop to show me what exactly was wrong with it, if anything. So they put on the laptop, and the laptop turns on automatically, and there's like no issues whatsoever. I was like, hey, that's kind of weird. Why did you put in the battery, by the way? Because they said the battery was no good, and you told me the battery was no good, and they didn't really give me a response to that. So what ended up happening is I took the laptop back home. This was in January, going into February, I'm trying to figure out my laptop problems, right? So what ended up happening there is I took it to a third repair shop. The third repair shop looked at it and said there wasn't really anything wrong, but they thought it was kind of weird about the startup issue. And they said the battery. And they told me, just buy a battery on the internet. Go to Amazon, buy a battery for like $50. It should be fine. You can bring it to me, put in the battery, and, you know, you should have no issues with your laptop. So I bought the battery for $50 on the internet. Paid the guy $60 to put it in because I didn't have the tools to be able to open up a laptop and to just like put in a battery. And again, I'm not like super tech savvy when it comes to stuff like that. Can open up video game controllers to try to clean them for Switch and like for drift and stuff, but I can't do that necessarily. Mario hit me with that shell. I gotta be careful here. We lost first place. Okay, him with the turtle shell, get revenge back there. Son of a bitch, I'm trying to talk to my audience here. So what ended up happening then is I took it to this guy, had him put in the battery, and he said he was going to run some tests. And the computer, when I took it home, was fine. He showed me the batteries running. When I took it home, started using the computer would randomly shut itself off with the battery. It wouldn't really necessarily say what was going on, and as time progressed, it got worse to the point that then when I started to play certain video games, particularly like Marvel Rivals, which I had no problem running before any of these computer repair guys took a look at my stuff, it started to crash. If I ran like super intensive games, it would crash. If I had like OBS, my VTuber model, a game on, and I had like something running in the background, Google, it would crash. And it just got worse and worse. Eventually, just poking around my computer, I found that there's something wrong with the USB-C thing that's connected to the graphics card. Tried to update the drivers for that. Anytime I update the drivers for the graphic card, it crashes. So that's kind of where I am with my computer right now. We've been trying to, like, me and my Discord, or my Discord and I should say, proper grammar, right? Figure out the situation with it. But none of us really could kind of figure out exactly what's going on, which is kind of confusing. Like, I could play Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel and the computer won't crash, but then if I play, like, something else, what was it? I could play Fortnite and it's fine. I tried to play Pokemon TCG Live the other week, and then you're wondering probably why I was only playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Despite the fact I promised it. This is one of my favorite tracks in the game. I'm kind of rusty in this game, even though it may not look like it. So what ended up happening was I went to play Pokemon TCG Live, and within maybe a minute or two, the game crashed on me. And when the game crashes on me, the computer refuses to start up for a long time. It takes like an hour to get it back on, which is why I try to avoid doing stuff really too much that's like super hard on my computer, right? But I guess like Pokemon TCG Live is very like intensive, even though it wouldn't look like it. But it was like making my computer really, really hot randomly. So what? Ooh, I missed the Red Turtle show there. That's unfortunate. So what ended up happening was, you know, I couldn't run it, and that's why there's been very limited stuff I could do on the channel. I've been playing a lot of Switch-related games because it's very easy for me to run my capture card on my Switch, because that's not really eating up a lot of computer resources, and run through the capture card to be able to like record footage and be able to do stuff that we're doing, as you see today, like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. The other thing is, like, that's why I've also been playing a lot of Master Duel and whatever's like less intensive. So, you know, there has been a change. And also I do really like playing card games, even though I complain about Yu-Gi-Oh! I enjoy it, something that I enjoy, but I understand that not everybody necessarily wants to watch that. Ironically, I had somebody that came in, when was it? Yesterday, when I announced I was going to be playing some Mario Kart 8, and was complaining because I was playing the old Mario Kart game as opposed to Mario Kart World. Now, obviously, as I told you before, I don't have a Nintendo Switch 2. I haven't bought one, obviously, yet. There's not really anything game-wise that really interests me right now in buying Nintendo Switch. There's not even enough game on the Switch 2 right now, and it's a very overpriced system, like I've mentioned before. It's like, and paying for upgrades to play certain things at a higher resolution is not something that I personally am on board with. And did I get it somewhere down the line? I don't know, maybe it's a possibility, but, you know, current economy, there's a lot more things going on that I'm a bit more concerned about. Like, it's a question, like, people are saying, like, why didn't you just buy a new laptop? If I could and had extra funds that I could deviate to do that, I probably would have done that already. But the reality of the situation is I live in a very expensive city. It's not the cheapest city to live in, New York City. And, you know, ponying up right now, like, $4,000, $5,000, you know, for a brand new laptop is not the most feasible. Even though they've come down in price, they're more like $2,000. It's a very expensive tall order for something that's not necessarily something. Like, I'm just like rocking with the current computer I have with the problems and just kind of making do with the situation. You know, it's one of those things that, you know, it's cost versus reward right now, right? Like, you know, if I wanted to do movie watch-alongs and react content, I could do this on the computer just fine that I have right now. Some of the games that I play, I can play them just fine with, like, some issues that are still going on concurrently. So, you know, you rock with whatever you have to rock with, right? You know, you make do with what you have, and, you know, that's how we're rocking on the channel, you know? Like, I'm not sponsored by anybody. I'm not sponsored by Nintendo. If I were sponsored by Nintendo, I'd have a Nintendo Switch 2. I've worked with Nintendo in the past, but obviously I've been a little bit more critical of the Nintendo Switch 2, and just how, not so much their launch lineup, but the price point, and I just, you know, I feel like it's a very tall order, and, you know, it's obviously we got tariffs too, right? So tariffs are affecting video games all over, right? Like, $80 for Mario Kart World, that's just insane to me. You know, I know some people will pony it up because they'll, you know, if they have to choose between eating and paying their rent, they will not pay their rent and they won't eat, right? That's what some people will do. I can't tell you how many times when I used to be a VTuber that I would see people buy, like, a brand new PS5, where they would buy, like, a brand new video game, or, like, a whole new console and a whole bunch of stuff, where they would pay for, like, a VTuber model that's, like, $3,000, $4,000, But then the next week, they're having like a subathon or a marathon so that they can afford to pay their rent that week. And I wish I were joking when I say these stuff, but that's like actual stuff that I saw constantly in the VTuber industry. So, you know, it's like, you know, if I have to choose between one thing or another, I'm just going to choose what's the smart thing to do, right? And again, like, Switch 2, what is there? Mario Kart World? And what else is there? Donkey Kong don't come out till July. Everything else that you're playing on the system right now is, for all intents and purposes, either a game that you can get on Steam, like Cyberpunk, which goes on sale quite a bit with all the DLC for relatively cheap, or like Elden Ring, which goes on sale now on the Steam store quite a bit too, which you could get relatively cheaper, or you're going to play your Switch 1 games on your Switch 2, which, you know, some Switch 1 games run better on their Switch 1, some run better on Switch 2. There's some that I saw that were interesting that is like absolutely no change, like that by Daylight in particular I saw on the Switch, where it looks a little bit better and it loads a little bit faster, but it's still running at like 30 frames per second, which is pretty bad. We won with Pauline there. That was a good car recommendation for the person who gave me that one. I actually like that, because I don't normally play with Pauline. Pauline is like my type of woman. Nice, tall, voluptuous, nice brownish color hair. That's I kind of rock with that. No disrespect to blondes. I think there's some nice aesthetic to blonde hair too, but something about an auburn type of girl hair that's nice. You collected 5,000 coins. A new vehicle customized option has been unlocked. I didn't even know I still had something I had to still unlock. What was it? Well, I guess we'll find out. So I came in first place. That one was pretty easy. Again, I'm sorry that like the number is being blocked there, but that's where I usually like to put my watermark. I'm not going to change it around because then it like our data gets messed up. Yeah, so we'll keep. But yeah, you know, so you know that's the situation with Switch 2. Why I haven't got one. Like, there's not really anything out yet, and it's too expensive for what they're asking for. Let me take a sip of water here. If I can. I have vitamin water. Dragon fruit par C. So, you know, you're gonna do more. Don't worry, we're gonna do more. I'm not playing online, so if you come in and you're asking me, why aren't you playing with viewers? This isn't a playing with viewers session. Just me chilling and chatting. I'm gonna do Donkey Kong, or Diddy Kong, excuse you, next. What'd I get? Oh, the gold glider. I thought you had to actually finish the 150 cc's for this. Like, you have to get gold trophies and all of them in the mirror to get everything. Like gold Mario. I don't have gold Mario. I don't play that much Mario Kart, believe it or not. I used to play, like, when it very first came out. But I kind of got, like, not disillusioned, but, like, playing online, after a while, you kind of get bored of it because it's just, like, the same meta. There's not really much that changed. They did things in updates afterwards to change it. So I'm going to go with Teddy Bear Cruiser because this is something that's recommended for Diddy Kong, even though I would prefer to give him a bike because I think he'd look cooler on a bike. I mean, there's so many options here, right? There's a Meister Cycle and it's Wild Wiggler. I remember that used to be. So Teddy Bear Buggy. We're gonna go with, I think they recommend the rollers, was it? This is what the person recommended. This is not me picking it. The rollers and the paper glider. Why is it not the Azure rollers here? I figure it would be the Azure rollers, at least in my opinion. Okay. So I'm gonna again pick around just randomly stage favorites that I like. So let's go to... Debating which one I want to do. Sorry, I'm always a little indecisive. Twisted Mansion? No, I want Twisted Mansion. Let's go here. Alright. So, you know, that's what it's been too. You know, there's always, like, going to be a problem when it comes to content creation, too, because it's like, you can't please everybody, right? I know you can't. I mean, that's just the fact of life sometimes, right? Like, there's time I'll run Yu-Gi-Oh! And people won't want to watch because it's Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's fine. There's times, like, people won't watch because I'm not playing the newest Mario Kart game. That's fine. There's times when I've run other things. Like, I used to play heavily Diablo 3. And as I've said before, I don't play more Diablo 3 because the last time I played it, it was an okay viewership. Like, the video did okay-ish. But it's like, there's so much that goes on with Diablo. There's not new that happens in Diablo 3. All they do is, like, update the seasons with older season themes. So it's not like they ever change new builds and add, like, more ancient legendary things that do new things. They stopped supporting Diablo 3 in favor of Diablo 4. And Diablo 4 is like one of those things where I played the base game, and I did the first 5 seasons of the base game, and I did not enjoy those first 5 seasons of it. So when they put out the Vessel of Hatred DLC, I just simply didn't want to... I thought I would have the turtle shell there, because usually if you throw a green run at the right moment, you can stop the red shell. Oh, that's unfortunate. Let's see if we can get back the lead here, because we're definitely now in like second or third place. I just got hit by a blue shell that was not even meant to hit me. How is that even possible? Shenanigans. Called shenanigans here. So the reason, yeah, I don't like what Diablo 4 has to offer, and they're constantly trying to force like microtransactions. Like, I like to buy a game, call me old-fashioned, maybe I am, but like back in the day I bought a video game, and the video game didn't have DLC, and it didn't have patch updates usually, unless it was on the computer. And what usually would happen is the game would be released in the way it was, and all the content was available in the game's release. There wasn't anything added, there wasn't anything changed. That's how the game was. It wasn't until like really old school Diablo 2 that then we started to see like games getting patched and stuff. But I'm the type of person that likes like their video games completely falling out of the box. And I mean, ironically, the game we're playing right now is kind of a victim of one of those things where Mario Kart 8, the original Mario Kart 8, was on the ill-fated Wii U system. And then, ironically, for the Nintendo Switch, they re-released it as Mario Kart Deluxe, added more characters. I don't remember if they added more stages, but they added more characters, definitely, and they did start tweaking things. Then, from there, what ended up happening was we got the expansion pass, when everybody thought we were just going to get, like, a Mario Kart 9, aka what ended up being Mario Kart World. So it's kind of ironic that the whole 8 years of the Switch's lifespan went just in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and they just were like, why make a new game when we could just add a whole bunch of new stages to it and sell the booster set? My guess is they always kind of were gonna do Mario Kart World on the Switch too, or maybe because of the Pokemon fiasco, because there was Pokemon, remember Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which now ironically run perfectly on the Switch too. So if you want to play Pokemon Scarlet and Violet with perfect frame rate and everything, you have to buy a $500 DLC, basically, in the form of a new console. Which, I mean, I wish I was making this up, but I'm not. Or we won that race. I got kind of worried there because I felt like we kind of misplayed that terribly. We got hit by a lot of shells there. Like, that's the one thing about being in first place for Mario Kart. Like, sometimes being in first kind of really sucks. Because you tend to get hit with the most shells, because that's the items that everybody usually gets the most. Or in like third, second, fourth place. Then if you're like in anywhere between 5th to 8th, usually you get a lot of bullet bills, a lot of fire flower, a lot of star. What's that one that they give you quite a bit? The mushroom power up. You never see those in first usually. It's very seldom. Which I don't know. Like I would personally like to see more. Have seen more variety in terms of the items that you get spawned on first, because I just feel like, you know, getting a coin sometimes when you have max coins is not going to do much. And you gotta hold on to it, and you can't switch the item around, which kind of, like, you know, if I could switch the item to which one I want to use, it's a little bit different. Like, I remember, I think Double Dash you could do that, if I'm not mistaken. So let's go. Alright, sweet. Drift here. I like the handling, but I feel like maybe this was Azure rollers that the person was thinking, and not regular rollers when they sent me this suggestion, because I feel like the regular rollers don't give me as much here. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it just helps with the mini boost. I don't know. But yeah, you know, so it's kind of funny that that happened. I've also been paying attention to stuff that's going on in the news lately. Just like in the country I'm living in, the United States of America, things have been quite interesting as of late. And I don't know, there's a lot of tension stuff. Like in my state right now, a couple days ago, somebody was running for a mayoral candidate got like arrested by ICE because I think he was at like the ICE center. I don't know for what reason he was there. I guess like in protest, and he didn't do anything, and they arrested him. And it became like a really big situation here, so much so that the like governor had to come down and said like, I'm not leaving until you release him because you're having charged him with a thing. I don't know, like stuff in this country is kind of getting like, I know, like it's sometimes the stuff that I see just is very disheartening. The news we're getting hit with this blue shot and I have no counter to it. Well, at least our person got hit with red turtle shell, so at least there's a counter there for that. But yeah, you know, it's like really crazy stuff. And then when you start looking at the incidents that are going on in the world too, where I'm not gonna be one of those people that jumps to the thing and say, oh no, we're heading towards a world war, but it's not looking good right now, right? Like, I don't know why another country would go into a country without the permission of NATO to start attacking it, because you're like, oh, well, they have nukes, well, and not, like, consult NATO, the part of the group that you're in for this type of stuff. You know, I don't condone either country right now. I usually prefer peaceful heads prevail, but, like, you look at that stuff, and it's very troubling, too, you know, and, like, I don't know, it just, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. Everything's always at conflict lately. That's why it's like, I try to stay off a lot of social media because of that, because there's so much negativity in the world. Like, obviously, if you use, what is it, X? Because X is kind of right now, too, you know? And there's also, obviously, Trump versus Elon Musk, which was its own very interesting saga that's been unfolding, where these guys were, like, their best buddies at one point. And now, like, they're at each other's throats, and one person's accusing the other, and it's just like, you know, but whenever I look at stuff like that, I was like, did you really expect any different from a guy who constantly makes promises that they don't keep, you know? It's like, man, I remember when Twitter used to be good. I remember at one point when Twitter, where you could just do, like, live tweeting, and you could talk about sports and just chill and vibe with your homies, and you could do, like, movie watch-alongs via live tweeting, and you were perfectly fine with that. And nowadays, like, God forbid you tweet, like, more than 3 or 4 times in a day, they'll tell you you're, like, spamming on Twitter, and they'll give you, like, a warning, or they'll disable your account, or you'll get, like, mass targeted, obviously, because the community on Twitter has changed dramatically over the years, right? So, like, you know, it's obviously become more of a far-right type of platform, as opposed to more centralized, which I don't think, like, any platform on social media should ever be like that. I feel like it should be more central, so that you can have various different conversations. But, like, you look at it from what it was and versus now, like, you can share a video game opinion, and this actually really happened to me, guys. Like, I was doing something where I was sharing a sports opinion, right? And in my sports opinion, like, the person cursed me out. I was talking about Shedeur Sanders. Now, you don't know who Shedeur Sanders is. Shedeur Sanders was a young football player prospect, the son of Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders is a alumni of the Dallas Cowboys. He was on one of the winning championship teams of the Dallas Cowboys. I think he was in the same team of Troy Aikman. I don't know, because that's a little bit before really I got into sports. Because, ironically, I was one of those guys growing up that was more into video games and, like, nerdy stuff. I actually didn't watch sports. I didn't really get into sports until I got into, and this is gonna date my age a little bit, when I got into, like, my late 20s, like 28, 29, going into 30. And then when I, like, really got into the 30s, that's when I really started to, like, have a newfound appreciation for sports. I guess it's because you kind of mature with age a little bit. So some of the stuff that you used to find, like, very interesting stops becoming interesting. Like, I used to be a really, really hardcore anime fan. I still enjoy watching an anime here and there, right? Are you serious? A blue shell and a red shell? At least the red shell counterbalanced the blue shell there, but that didn't make me feel good. I felt like we got just super cheated there, man. But yeah, like, I'm not as big into anime as I used to be either, because I just, like, I don't know, like, I guess you kind of grow out of certain trends. Like, I watch some of the older anime still, and some classics. I'll revisit some series that I used to enjoy watching. Like, I recently was rewatching Yu Yu Hakusho. It's just like Yu Yu Hakusho is one of those super underappreciated animes. Like, ones that really, 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 really just, like, super underappreciated. Especially, like, the Dark Tournament arc. Because, like, everybody always, like, misjudges Tagura. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, Tagura's a horribly written character. I don't know what you're thinking. Like, that's Zuber talk, right? When you have people saying Tagura's, like, a terrible character. Tagura was probably one of the most interesting and most important characters of all of Yu Yu Hakusho, just because, like, he did everything that he wanted to get revenge on the person that killed all his students, and then on top of that, everything that he did leading up to the Dark Tournament and in the Dark Tournament was done intentionally to train Yusei. So he was trying to help Genkai's student all the way through. And I think he even knew when he killed Genkai in the series that she would just get wished back and that Yusuke was going to beat him. I think he wanted Yusuke always to kind of be like his successor in the sense that the student that actually listened to Genkai and things. But that arc was like super important because it also built like up the friendships and bonds of the characters that didn't get along, like Hiei and Yusuke, Kurabara and Yusuke. Oh god, I forget its name now. Hiei, I said. What was the other guy? I forget the guy with the red hair's name because it wasn't that long ago. But I forget, man. What is his name? I'm so blanking on him, but he's the one that turns into the wolf. But yeah, so that series in particular, I was rewatching it, particularly like the Dark Tournament arc, because I think the Dark Tournament was like one of the most important arcs in there. I also like the ending too, because like towards the last couple of episodes when Yusuke goes to go train in the demon realm because he finds out that he's got half demon in him, he like you have, you know what, his love interest there, Keiko. Sorry, I was getting a little sidetracked because I was trying to remember how to do on 2 here. But yeah, so, you know, you have Keiko, who Keiko is like tired of waiting for Yusuke all around. She's like, at this point in the series, really down bad for Yusuke, and he's always gone and not around. And I'll never forget the finale of the series, which is not the same as the finale of the manga, because the manga actually continues after that particular episode. But like, I always will remember, like, Keiko is on the beach screaming to Yusuke in particular that she's not going to wait around for him anymore. And like, even before the final scene, like there was a couple of episodes prior to this where she's like, oh, I'm not going to wait around for you ever. Let me know when you get back and I'll introduce you to the new boyfriend. And he really wants to marry Keiko and everything at this point. And which is kind of crazy because they're just like 2 teenagers in Japan and they're already like on their marriage stage. Like, I'm a much older person at this point, and I don't even, like, marriage is like the last thing on my mind right now. But like, so it's kind of interesting, the dynamic there. And you know, the thing about it too is like when, sorry, because it's really hard to focus and play this game at the same time, but what ends up really being interesting in that whole arc is like the final scene is her standing on the beach, screaming that she's not going to wait around anymore for Yusuke, that she's tired of waiting, that she's been waiting forever. It's about time that she gets what she wants. And then Yusuke shows up behind her and it's like, you don't have to. See? And she runs at his arm and they finally have their big kiss, and everybody else that's part of that team, you know, has their happy ending, so to speak. And then, you know, it's just, they all ride off into the sunset. And I think that's kind of cool. And the reason I bring that up, right, is this is kind of a little bit important, is I had that type of situation going on in my life, right? I wasn't the Yusuke in that situation, though. I was, I guess you could say, the Keiko, where I was waiting around for somebody, like, forever and forever to kind of, like, do their own stuff. You know, figure the stuff out that's going on with them. And just kind of, like, figure out, you know, they were kind of like 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out the door. I guess there's no way to put it. And I just kind of wanted some like clarity in regards to whatever was going on between us to like actually have some type of like conclusion, finality, some type of stuff that wouldn't feel like it was vague. Like, I mean, I just got to be honest with you, just as a male, and it also applies to females. When you're like in a friendship or a relationship with a person of the opposite sex or maybe the same sex, right? Because that's a possibility too. You kind of always hope, like, you know, that people don't leave you, I don't want to say on the hook necessarily, but like this ambiguous cloud of, are we, aren't we? You know, do you like me? Do you not like me? I've always kind of been one of the persons that kind of, you know, I when I deal with stuff like that, I'm black and white, right? I'm not talking about skin color here now, guys. What I'm talking about is, like, I'm transparent with my actions and sentiments, right? If I like a person, I will make it known that I like them. If I dislike a person, and all of you know if you follow me on social medias, or you've watched videos of mine, if I dislike something, I will let it be known that I dislike something. Whether it's treatment towards me, whether it's, you know, a person that has rubbed me the wrong way. You know, I'm open and honest about stuff. That's what I've always been and always dealt with, you know? So, it's just kind of like, when I was watching Yu Yu Hakusho recently, particularly when I got finally back up to the finale, I saw that. I'm like, man, that kind of feels like my situation. It's so relatable. It's kind of crazy how sometimes animes, in particular, will kind of make you feel something or in relation. I do Yoshi. Yes, this is the same recommendation they gave me for Yoshi. I don't know why you guys love the teddy bear. I know it's like super metagame, but we will do super metagame things if we have to here, right? We will do it. We will do it. We will do it. But yeah, you know, so, you know, it was funny there too. And, you know, it's kind of crazy too. Sometimes, like, I have a lot of friends, right? So sometimes it's kind of crazy how one friend's energy is much, much different than another friend. Like, I was talking to a friend, it's a viewer of my channel, they're an OG viewer of my channel. And they helped out quite a bit recently. And, you know, we are just talking about stuff going on in life and how stuff like what we were talking about with Yu Yu Hakusho, how it makes you feel a different way about certain things. And, you know, it's just kind of crazy sometimes how somebody else's energy matches a little bit. It's much, much different, right? Like, I'll be honest with you, there was this same friend is the one that pushed me to keep playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. It's like, at one point during the World Championship qualifier, like, I was in stage 1 for a long time, and I was sitting on, like, Duelist level 17 for quite a while, guys. Like, we're talking a serious amount of time that I was just stuck on Duelist level 17. And I just didn't want to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Anymore. Like, I was just like, you know what, I'm just not going to continue to compete in this qualifier because we're just not going to get it. We're not going to get our dub. We're not going to be able to clutch it. And, you know, I was saying, I was like, yeah, I'm just going to give up. It's not worth it. I'm not going to make the World Championships anyway, so why should I keep playing? And this person motivated me to keep playing. Like, they're like, no, you can't give up. You know, you can do it. Trust yourself. You're really good at this. And motivated me quite a bit. And, you know, it's kind of important, I guess, is what I'm trying to tell people, to have, like, really, really, truly supportive people there that are going to be there all the time. You know, I don't mean you're there 24/7, right? Because nobody realistically can be in somebody's life 24/7. But it's nice to, like, I don't know, what's the way to put it? It's nice to have somebody, like, actually, if they do care about you, friend, family, relationship, however you want to. I should have thrown that green turtle shell there. It's a super misplay. However they feel, like, you know, it should be nice to, like, have some type of active role in your life, right? And I feel like we're, like, more, I don't know, like, alone, or like that person never around than that, because it puts a strain on people, right? I understand people are busy, right? People gotta work, yeah. People got other things to do. If you're a content creator like me, you have content to create and you have other things to do, right? Like, we're constantly busy living our lives, but, you know, sometimes it's nice for friends to, I don't know, check up on people, make sure they're doing okay. You know, if they care, like, root for the stuff they're doing. Like, I don't feel like friendship should be one-sided, right? Like, I don't think it should be. Like, you know, there are some times where friendships are very one-sided, and you give and you give and you give, and, like, they take, like, our friends may, I hit that turtle shell there, okay, good, I was about to say. And I missed the jump, though. That's so unfortunate. But there's, like, times where, you know, like, you have a friend that'll just take, and not give. And I'm not saying, you know, it's got to be equal, right? Gotta match energies, like I like to say. So, there's times where you could be, like, super supportive. I'm surprised we won that one. I honestly didn't think we're going to. But, like, there's times when, like, you can only be super supportive of everything, and you kind of want people to be supportive of the stuff that you do, and take a little bit of active support of it, you know. And, you know, why was VTubing in particular, I felt the weight of this a lot more. That with the VTubing in particular, like, I had a lot of friends who were part of the scene, or associated in the scene, or they were I don't know if I would say acquaintances. And I felt like a lot of the time it was very one-sided because, like, everybody expects you to support their stuff all the time and their endeavors. But then, like, when you would like, I don't know, just for them to support your stuff, you know, like, just pop in and say hello every once in a while. Or, you know, just be, you know, does it kill people to share a link or retweet something every once in a while, you know? And I think that's kind of what burned me out a lot about the VTuber scene in particular, because I had, like, a lot of people where it was always me showing up for their streams, me, you know, showing up for projects, supporting projects, giving a lot of words of motivation. And, I don't know, I felt... I don't think the word... I used the word in the video taken advantage of, but I don't think that's the right word. I didn't feel like I was taken advantage of, but I felt... I think I just went the wrong way like an idiot. I did! Holy crap, that's bad. Well, we just messed up this stage, probably. But I felt, I don't know, underappreciated, right? Like, sometimes you just want somebody to come in and be like, oh, hey, have a good stream, right? Because that's just, like, usually FleshTuber logic. And, like, towards the end of really VTubing, it's when I felt a lot of the weight where it's like, well, I'm supporting, not physically or financially supporting, but I'm supporting a lot of people's projects and endeavors and giving motivation to tons and tons of people, right? Because it's hard. Making content isn't easy. It never is. It never has been. I'll be the first to say it. You know, every day it becomes a struggle for people. You try to reinvent yourself. You have to deal with algorithms. You have to deal with Twitch. You know, you have to try to keep it entertaining, carrying conversation as best as you can. It's not very easy if you've never done content creation, streaming, anything of the sort. I'm gonna do the wrong turn here again, it look like? Okay. No. That would have been cringe if we did that again. But yeah, you know, so... one of the things that regards, we're way ahead in this race, so we should be good. Unless the Red Turtle Show comes in. I thought I hit it with the bob! No! That's unfortunate. Yeah, but, you know, so towards the end, I felt very one-sided, which is why I was just kind of... lost... I don't know, love? Or just lost, like, drive to be part of VTubing community, you know? And, you know, it's just kind of crazy because, like, I see a lot of my friends who are FleshTubers, right? And even though I guess you could consider me FleshTuber even though I don't show my face on camera here. And I mostly just prefer to do voice at this point. But, like, I see a lot of my regular streamer friends, right? And, like, it's just a different vibe altogether, right? Like, I think people are a little bit more friendly on this side of the pond. A little bit more supportive. You don't have to worry about the... I don't even want to say battle of the sexes, but it's kind of like battle of the sexes when it comes to VTubing, because there's always the taboo of the male VTubers interacting with female VTubers, and God forbid you interact with a female VTuber as a male VTuber, you will probably try to be cancelled. I know that happened to me one time in particular. There's a fan base that came after me, which was like, stay away from my Oshi, how dare you speak to them, how dare you be supportive. I didn't really ever talk about that as a VTuber, but that's something that happened. And I had to ignore, like, a lot of hate emails and stuff and just kind of play well with it, because why are you gonna, like, address a lot of negativity? Because, like, if you don't address negativity, usually people just go away, particularly when it's, like, rabid fans. And you just kind of move on to the next thing. The other thing, too, like, with VTubing, I know, like, I'm pulling back, like, there's just certain practices that have always bothered me, I suppose, right? So, like, one thing I don't like about VTubing, and it happened here, too, it's happened to me when I was Kagiri General, it happened when I was Ryuji Dread, and I did models, is I've never been a fan of parasocialism, you know? I think it's okay to support people. I don't... I think, like, I draw the line at calling somebody on the internet, like, mommy, or, like, you know, making lewd remarks to a content creator, or another thing that I kind of, like, for me, I'm saying personally that bothers me, is just, like, on top of that, like, calling somebody, you know, even if you don't mean it seriously, like wife. And that happens a lot in the VTuber, like, sphere. And I feel like a lot of stuff, like, a lot of the problems that male VTubers in particular, I would say, have, and why then we get targeted a lot by, like, parasocial fans in particular, is because, like, a lot of the big people, and even some of the, like, lesser people breed parasocialism with their fans, to the point that then, like, I don't want to say they believe they're in relationships with people, because I guess that's not the nicest thing to say, but, like, they're very clingy to these people in ways that I don't necessarily feel is, like, the most healthy, right? And I feel like maybe had there been less parasocialism in general, particularly on the higher spectrum of it, we're talking, like, big industry type of YouTubers, maybe then there would have never necessarily been, like, battle of the sexes and just weird fans. Like, I've had a lot of weird fan bases come at me for stuff, even still, kind of, now. And it's just kind of like, well, I'm not, like, I don't get it, like, because it's just, like, weird to me, right? Like, so that's, like, one of the things I don't miss necessarily about VTubing and VTuber culture, is just kind of, like, the weird parasocialism that goes in tow with it. The other thing, too, that, like, it's just much different when it's regular streamer vibes, because, like, people... Yeah, I mean, you still have people that are a little bit parasocial, right? Like, I mean... No disrespect to Pokemon, but we've seen Pokemon's fan base, right? And there's criticisms, obviously, that you could give. If you give, like, criticisms of Pokemon, particularly I remember when people were complaining about her comment about Broke Boys and the cookies. And, like, a lot of her fan base came at people just for, like, having very sensible things of, like, you know, nobody necessarily knows people's financial things. That's why I was joking, like, Broke Boys Unite. Because I understand, like, there's a lot of people who aren't going to be able to have, like, a Nintendo Switch 2. Because it's just, like, not in their budget. Especially, like, with tariffs and, you know, people got rent, children. I don't have children. But, you know, there's a lot. There's a lot. So, like, I wasn't really a fan of that. Another practice is, too, like, not being into... People not being able to talk to each other because one person's an agency or a corporate VTuber versus, like, a person that's an indie. So then it's like, don't interact with those indies. You can't do that. You know, there's always the taboo, right? I'll never forget. And this is kind of something that bothered me because, like, I didn't understand what they were saying back then, but I kind of understand now that it's kind of like that, which is just disappointing. Like, there was a thing that Montera said that was clipped. It was probably clipped out of context, but about, like, Hollywood and indies never interact. Like, Hollywood can't interact with indies. And I always kind of bothered by that because I felt like, you know, Hollywood to me is like Denzel Washington, Scarlett Johansson, you know, big time names. I mean, I'd probably go as far as to say, like, anybody that's from, like, Emiru, anybody that's from, like, one of those major streaming things, Valkyrie Ray, Pokemon, Asmongold, stuff like that. That, to me, like, they have a large enough fan base that I would consider them Hollywood by all intents and standard. And I would say, like, Hollywood on the lowest end, right? Just because, like, there were some people who were even in the Minecraft movie. But, like, I would see VTubers refer themselves as Hollywood. And I'd be like, you're not Hollywood, man. Like, nobody knows you're not, like, household names, right? You're, like, small fishes and big fish and smaller ecosystem ponds. So that used to always bother me. Like, so after I was like, yeah, Hollywood can't interact with, like, non-Hollywood. Because it's always just gonna go bad, and in a way I guess she was kind of true about that, because, like, Hollywood people don't want to interact with regular people because, God forbid, I don't know, people treated people equally in spheres. But it always, like, kind of bothered me that, like, VTuber scene would consider themselves, like, celebrities, just because I don't view VTubing and doing things behind a digital avatar as being famous. And, like, for me, like, 4 million views, or not views, excuse me, like 4 million followers, or like 2 million followers on like a YouTube channel. It's very successful for YouTube, yeah, but it's not like famous, right? Like, I'll be honest, I'm gonna pull the veil back here a little bit. I have a friend, his name is Tabor Hill. Tabor Hill is a Fortnite streamer. He has over 1 million followers. And you know how much money he makes? He's told me this before in stories. $65,000 a year. So you're basically making roughly a little under what middle-class wage would be for YouTubing. So, you know, 4 million YouTube subscribers will probably get you closer to 100,000 range. It's definitely not making you millions. Maybe you'll get millions off of like super chats and stuff, but I don't see that. So a lot of time I see people flaunting, I guess you could say, in VTuber sphere, and it's like, I mean, unless you have like a different venture out of this, like I think Gamer Supps probably would be a good example of it, where you buy into something else that you own. Like, it makes sense. I didn't even see the fish line there. But like, then I see some people and like, they have like 800,000 subscribers, and they think like, I don't know, like they're on the level of like Scarlett Johansson or Anne Hathaway, Jennifer Lawrence, you know, Anna Kendrick, stuff like that. Like, to me, that's celebrities, not like VTubers. And I used to see like VTubers like making themselves making themselves out to be bigger than what they really are. Big within their communities, definitely. Successful within their communities, definitely. But, you know, not necessarily household names. And that kind of like barred me quite a bit with it. The other things too is like, everybody always in the VTuber sphere is always trying to cancel people. I never understood. We won the race with Yoshi pretty easily there. So like, one of the things I never really truly got too, it's just like everybody's always trying to cancel people. So people talk crap about each other, like, for no reason too. Like, I saw something that happened with the Niji Sanji stuff recently. I guess the person was saying like very transphobic, homophobic, a lot of different type of things. Which, I mean, I think you probably should get fired for something like that. Other people in this day and age will probably applaud you. This is what was recommended to me. So this is Bowser, and I think they said it's the Cloud, and then the same wheels. I don't know how this is gonna go, because this doesn't sound like excuse me, this would be good for Bowser in terms of a setup, okay? But, you know, but yeah, that's the thing, like, everybody trying to cancel. Like, there's always a VTuber drama too. Like, that's why I'm kind of glad I'm out of the sphere, because like, I check my Dreadscape Gaming Twitter a little bit, because unfortunately the algorithm hasn't changed. So like, every once in a while I'll see like 2 indie VTubers fighting, or I'll see like another Google Doc that's being leaked about people, and it's just like so much drama. It's like childhood type of stuff. And I guess maybe that has to do with a lot of the like VTuber base, like the people who actually are VTubers tend to be a bit on the younger side of the spectrum, so they're not like very well adjusted, I guess maybe is the word to use. But there's always some type of drama. I go on there to post like YouTube videos out, right, on the Dreadscape Gaming Twitter, and then you'll see like, oh, this person's getting canceled today, this person and this person hit on me, and then like you see the Google Docs, and like, I don't know, I think I would necessarily consider that, but you know, or there's just so much weird shit, so much weird stuff, and I don't know, I think like, yeah, I always kind of said that I feel like, I hate to use the term touch on grass. I feel like a lot of times when it comes to certain content creation spheres, the problem is that a lot of people don't go out and socialize a lot. So because they don't socialize necessarily, they lack the proper interpersonal communication skills to be able to handle situations like adults incorrectly. And I think another problem obviously is because it's the internet, right? So people will say things on the internet because they feel like there's no consequences for the action, no recourse because of the anonymity, right? And I just feel like it's something that happens more so with the Gen Zers, Zoomers, than it really does necessarily with millennials. I'm a millennial, in case you don't know that. I've mentioned it before. I lived in the golden age of a lot of great, like, video games. I've seen, like, some of the best gaming in my life. It's just a shame that gaming is the way that it kind of is in this day and age. I really don't like the setup for Bowser, because I don't feel like... I have the speed, but, like, control-wise, I know it's a little bit easier to control, but I don't know, I just feel like there's a better setup than this, but this was recommended by a viewer. We're playing all viewer-recommended things. I feel like we could take those turns better in a cat car, which is kind of my thing. I feel like we'd handle better in a cat car. So, with that being said, though, you know, I don't know. I really don't know, guys. It's just kind of weird sometimes. I feel like there's not a lot of mature people in VTubing. And, like, yeah, it's just stuff, too. Like, I don't understand. What's the best way to put it? I don't understand why people that have conflicts on the internet can't just talk to each other, and instead what happens... I mean, I've probably been guilty of this. I've had friends who are guilty of this. I have colleagues who are guilty of this. I am, you know, like, it's one of those things now where people don't talk to people, instead they will post a meme or a video, and will say, like, current mood or something, and they won't, like, actually just, I want to say pick up the phone, but, like, DM somebody and be like, hey, I'm upset about something that you did, or something you said upset me, or something you said offended me, or something you said hurt me. And instead, what ends up happening is you just get, like, these meme wars, I guess, or these subtweet wars, which happens a lot in VTuber land. And it's just like, I don't know, man. It's such a different vibe. Like, this is why I was talking to my friend about this stuff. It's like apples and oranges. It's like 9-day difference when you're doing, like, actual regular streaming stuff. Because the worst thing that you gotta worry about when you do, like, regular streaming is just, like, trying to get your viewership, trying to get people engaged, trying to get people to come back, trying to test to see what works, trying to keep dialogue going. But then, like, you'll see Earth and say, how am I losing this one already? This might be a race to lose. And then, like, it's just less real dramas. So, it's just less drama overall. Like, I just feel, like, at least when you're doing, like, voice and regular streaming. Because, you know, yeah, there's a few people who have beef every once in a while. Look at Pokemon and Ninja at that time period and things. But I don't think it gets, like, you don't hear every other day, like, two content creators that are regular, like, streamers trying to cancel each other or stuff. And that's just kind of fun. And the thing about, too, is, like, I've been on YouTube a long time. This is, like, 5 years on this channel, right? But I have another channel, my first channel, that I've had for, like, 12 years. And it's kind of crazy to see, like, how YouTube in general has changed. Not so much even the algorithm, which it is, as the algorithm kind of sucks. But, like, there's just other things that happen that just kind of pull my vibe down. You know? It's just, like, when I was making YouTube videos back in the day, I would do, like, no voice playthroughs of, like, retro video games. I would do, like, a lot of NES games, I did some Dreamcast games, I did Genesis games, I did reviews of old games and do them, like, comedy skits. Some of that stuff you can still find on the internet if you know where to look. I'm not going to post links to it because I'm not, like, super comfortable on camera, even though I've done on-camera work before. It's not because I'm afraid of what I look like or I'm insecure about what I look like. I just because I don't like the type of work and the type of stuff I do. I don't like to draw a lot of attention to myself because then it becomes a problem with clients. And, you know, also, obviously, if I decide I'm gonna go for, I don't know, like, a new job interview and stuff, like, nowadays everybody does stuff on social media and they, like, prune the internet to see and figure out your identity. I mean, that happens even in VTuber Sphere, which used to bother me a bit. Like, I remember I did stuff on VTubing and, like, some dude, like, went to great lengths to figure out my past life, which wasn't that hard because I did put Easter eggs in everything I did here on the channel so people know who I am, so to speak. But, like, I never get that too sometimes too. Like, it's just, I don't know, the whole ecosystem of VTubing to me just doesn't make sense. Just from the fundamentals to the practices of it, it's weird. I'm so glad I'm out of that. You know, but yeah, and then you see, like, night and day differences too with streaming. Like, you don't have that type of stuff. Their whole thing too, like, with doing stuff this way as opposed to VTubing is, like, if I want to go to an event, and like record at the event and record as myself, I can. If I want to do like pack openings with fans, I can. You know, this is also going back to like why I disliked VTubing a lot. There's a lot of like stupid rules, not only in corporations, but like just in general, like self-professed rules that the community has. So like, God forbid you talk about past life. Ooh, Aura's there for yourself. Don't talk about your past life. Don't show your face. Don't do this. Don't do that. God forbid you do any of those things, then they're trying to cancel you because you're like ruining the whole thing in the culture. Like, you know, I never understood truly even why people think like English VTubing has to be the same way like Western VTubing. Because here's the thing, like Western VTubing doesn't appeal to a wide audience. Like, to be honest with you, when I used to watch stuff like that, I am not really interested in watching people sing too much, right? I don't mind hearing a good song here and there, but like I'm not interested in concerts. I'm not interested in like a lot of covers being sung, which is a lot of things that VTubers do. Like, I like original music, but I'm not a fan of people singing covers. I get bored with that because I don't, you know, for me, it's like singing a cover to me is like remaking a movie. Like, I don't feel like any movie should really be remade unless it's a really bad movie. I feel the same way about music. I don't feel like any song should be sung by a different artist. I know RRs, like, IRL do covers and stuff, but I don't like when people remake other people's music. I feel like if it's already been done, do something different, do something original. That's what I like. So, like, when I used to, like, watch VTubers and stuff, I would usually like to watch people who game. Because usually, when I watch anything, even, like, content-wise, like, or YouTubers or streamers and stuff concurrently, I like to watch people that are doing stuff that I am not familiar with, right? So, like, I will tend to watch people who are playing a game that I'm not familiar with, right? Or I have no intention of playing, so I can't get spoiled, and that's kind of, like, interesting to me. The other thing that I like to do when I watch, like, content creators is I also like to watch content creators who have never played a game before, right? So, like, for me, even though I enjoy Master Duel and stuff, I will actually watch people who play Master Duel that are a lower skill level than me. Because I find it interesting to see people who have never played Yu-Gi-Oh! The TCG or the OCG, who have no experience whatsoever playing the game, playing it for the first time. Because to me, that's like really interesting, seeing things through the eyes of a new player who've never. So I like stuff like that, but like when it came to like VTubing stuff, like I don't like Smash or Pass list. Like that's not interesting to me, because I'm not from a generation that's like cares about shit like that. I'm not interested in like non-stop music. Like I appreciate music, but like I can't tell you, like when it comes to like Christmas season in particular, like you'll have just people non-stop karaokeing all over the place. You have indies, you have corpos and stuff, and I understand like karaoke is kind of cool, but there's some people who can karaoke and have like vocal training and it's very good when they do it, and then there's some people it's like, why are you hurting my ears? It'd be like me singing on this channel. I can't sing on this channel. I'm terrible at singing. I know I don't have the voice for singing. Not even if you vocal trained me would I be able to do stuff of that nature, which is why I don't do it. That's why I didn't even do it when I was a VTuber. That's not my skill set. My skill set, as you see, is like trying to win in Mario Kart and do a good job and do other things. I think we did a pretty good job so far in Mario Kart. So like, the other thing for me in particular is like, you know, so that's like something when it comes to watch stuff, I'm interested in that type of stuff. So singing's not really it. Like, just chatting streams for me are okay. I don't personally do them because, like, even though technically we're kind of doing, like, just chatting right now, right? So it's easy to play Mario Kart and chat because I don't have to turn my brain off a little bit, and the muscle memory usually will take over. I got throw this. I stopped it. But, like, for me, too, it's like just chatting streams are okay. Like, there's only so many times I could hear somebody chatting about what they did in their day and what they did in their life. Like, and before it's like, or the thing is you'll talk about the same topics too, which is why I don't like to just chat. Like, you know, I love Macross, but I'm pretty sure none of you want to hear me talk about Misa Hayase is the best character in the show and why Lumime played with Rick's emotions, and although she's meant to be a tragic character written in the anime series, she kind of comes off as a not very nice, immature human being. You know, and why Rick really matures, or not Rick, excuse me, Hikaru, because Rick is like the bastard version from Robotech, which is a really terrible rendition of Macross. But Hikaru in particular, you know, kind of grows with the show in age and matures and realizes what he really needs in his life is a mature woman, which is why he can't pick Mimei, because Mimei represents his fantasy and not what he really needs it, right? Like, Mimei is the girl that he thinks he wants, as opposed to Misa, who's the girl that he actually needs. And that's how I've always looked at it. That's why, like, for me personally, when I've looking for the one, right? I've always been interested in finding somebody that's kind of like Misa in a sense, right? The girl that I know is mature, the girl that I know is always gonna, like, have my back in good times and bad, that we can have a disagreement and be able to come together after the disagreement and still, like, you know, care, and not, like, you know, throw shade because I didn't agree with her opinion, or, you know, I was upset over not spending a lot of time with somebody that I wanted to spend time with, and stuff like that, right? So, you know, for me, that's like, if I ranted about Macross all the time, that got boring. If I ranted about, like, Naruto all the time, when you've heard me talk about Naruto in the past, like, you all know, Sakura, in particular, kind of got the raw end of the deal in Naruto, because, you know, she was chasing after the bad boy, and Sasuke. And towards the very end in Shippuden, she tried to get with Naruto because she realized, like, Naruto is a nice guy and the guy that she probably should have been with. And what did Naruto do? Naruto put her in the friend zone because he kind of realized that she was just kind of wanted somebody to be there because she didn't want to be alone, and she knew that she couldn't go with Sasuke. And Naruto really, like, valued himself, right? And then he ends up with Hinata, somebody that was always there for him 24/7. Which I think is kind of important because it teaches the lesson that sometimes, you know, you can't use guys as backup plans, I guess, is the saying. Like, you can't have somebody as a backup plan. Like, that's not fair to the person, first of all. You know, like, if I care about somebody, I'm not going to be like, okay, this is option 1, but if this doesn't work out, this is option 2, this is option 3. It's like, you mess with people's heads, right? Because then it's like, well, you know, this second person, that's the option. Like, that's not fair to them. That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't... This is not like ranked choice voting, is what I'm saying. You don't go with, like, okay, well, this is the girl I want to be my girlfriend. But if this doesn't work, this is the second choice that's going to be my girlfriend. If this doesn't work, this is my third choice, and my fourth choice, and my fifth choice. Like, that's not fair, because do you really love any of these people, then? No, you just, like, don't want to be alone. And I feel like with Sakura, that was what she was kind of doing in Naruto. He was the backup plan, because she didn't want to be alone. And then what happens to her? She still ends up with Sasuke as a kid, and Sasuke's never around. So, you know, she's the cautionary tale of what happens when you go for the wrong guy, I suppose. And I've talked about that before here on the channel many, many times in the past. So, like, if I talk about those topics, you'd get tired of hearing me and say that. Like, how many times do you want to hear the story of how the creator of Adventure Time rubbed me the wrong way in my very last gig that I ever did as a journalist, which was at New York Comic Con? Yeah, you've heard that story. You've heard the story of how I met Mark Hamill. I met Mark Hamill because he was friends with Kevin Conroy. Kevin Conroy, may he rest in peace, was a good friend of mine. I did the convention tour circuit a long time as a journalist, and I knew him. Everybody knows I knew the Candyman, may he rest in peace, Tony Todd. I still haven't seen the Final Destination movie. I'm waiting for it to come out on home video. I think it came out on home video, actually, recently, so I want to watch it, because I know that the speech he gives in that movie is something that he wrote for himself, because it was something he wanted to tell the audience before he passed away. So, you know, there's that type of stuff, guys. There's that type of stuff. So, you know, like, if I kept talking about those stories, you wouldn't be interested. And that's why it's, like, not a very big just chatting thing, you know? And there's just, like, other stuff, too. Like, you know, just certain things, too. Like, I don't like karaoke. I don't like a lot of just chatting. I don't think it's, like, every once in a while, just chatting is fine. You do it for me, personally. I feel like if you do it every 6 months, it's okay. Maybe every 3 months. Like, to do kind of like a life update or something, that's fine. Like how vloggers do it, but every day, just like, man, it gets stale, because it's like, been there, done that. And again, for me, it's like, when I watch content creators, I just want to watch gaming. I don't even care if we're good at the game. I just want to see video games footage, like see stuff that interests me. And then that's the reason why I don't do watch-alongs too, because I don't like React content, even though that's a big thing on the internet too. Like, I've always been surprised here on the channel that we had, whatchamacallit, we did the movie watch-along for Terrifier series, and it did extremely well. I did the movie watch-along of Godzilla x Kong, which is just me gushing as a fan of kaiju films about that kaiju film. I thought it was great. I was very disappointed that we didn't get good numbers for Godzilla Minus One. But I thought Godzilla Minus One was a great film. And it's kind of crazy how regular audiences were okay with watching, like, the MonsterVerse Godzilla x Kong movie, and they really gravitated towards that, but then a vastly superior film, such as Godzilla Minus One that even won Oscars for Best Visual Effects, people completely pooped on it and didn't want to watch along with me. Or like something that was my favorite anime of all time, Macross, Do You Remember Love? And that had a kind of a low turnout, never got as much traction there. It's kind of hard. Like, it's that's why too I think, like, when you do VTubing, it kind of limits your growth as a creator, just because, like, you're limiting the audience to a specific niche. You're always gonna have a debuff if you're a dude. Like, that's just how it is in that industry. As opposed to if you're a male streamer, people will watch just a male streamer for being a male streamer. And then, like, the other thing too is, like, you know, React content. I feel like it's stealing content. I don't feel like you should take other people's content and use it. Some people might argue that playing video games on stream is kind of like reacting in a way, and I guess it is because you're reacting to your own gameplay, but it's kind of like having a chat while you're playing video games with people. And also, you can do stuff in video game content that you can't do in, like, just chatting, or in singing, or in karaoke. Like, for example, I am really, really good at Streets of Rogue. I am okay at Binding of Isaac. I am extremely good at Pokemon, although we don't see me play Pokemon too much here on the channel, because a lot of times I don't like to give away the teams I'm using in tournaments. But, like, one of the important things of those shows, to me personally, is the fact that you can, you know, you can, for all intents and purposes, like, play at a very high level, and people will be interested in watching you play at a high level the game, or do a speed run of a game people never heard of, or play a game that I've never heard of, or you could play, like, fan-related games. There's stuff you could do. There are goals that you could set. There are challenges you could do. Like, I've never played Minecraft. I mean, I have played Minecraft. I have, like, 128 hours, but the thing that I'm planning to do in Minecraft in the future here on the channel is I have a world that I set up that I have 130 days in, which is the longest I've played Minecraft. I have never seen the Ender Dragon. I've never fought the Ender Dragon. I've never been to the end. This is the longest I've survived the Nether. I have a terrible Nether spawn right now because I have Soul Sand Valley, but it kind of helps because I'll be able to get, like, dried bath. Like, so what I'm planning to do in the future is I'm going to be playing Minecraft. And I'm, like, the goal when I do those Minecraft streams is I'm going to try to actually beat Minecraft for a change. And I'm playing a Minecraft solo world, which makes it a bit harder because Minecraft is obviously more so a multiplayer game, and it's a lot easier when you're playing with people to be able to take down, like, the Ender Dragon and do other things, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go in and do things on my own, and I'm, like, playing through the game and learning things and asking my friend, I'll give her a shout out because I think she'll be okay with it, Countess Crucible Draco. I will actually put a link to her Twitch channel. She, it's on hiatus right now. I don't know if she's going to be making content again in the future, or if she's playing a rebrand. I don't know. But you can, like, watch her content. She has a YouTube channel. I don't think there's too much up on it. But she's, like, really big into Minecraft. She's a fan of Minecraft. She knows a lot. She's very knowledgeable about Minecraft. So I've been talking to her about it, and she's been giving me tips as to what to do and what not to do, and she made fun of my grass floor, because I was using grass floor still on day, like, 130 of my build, so it was kind of funny. Oh no, we can't use that. Oh, he's gonna hit me with the shell. No, okay, we'll use that just in case the red shell comes back and hits me. But yeah, so I think we're gonna be okay here. A sight bike one is a good stage to go on. But yeah, you know, so she's been giving me a lot of tips, giving me pointers, giving me stuff as to how I can survive. And I've been taking it. It's like, playing Minecraft for the first time where you're, like, seriously playing it. It's kind of cool and interesting. I kind of get the point of it now, because everything's kind of starting to click with me. The only thing that still kind of is a little bit off-putting to me is dying and losing all my stuff, which has happened a couple times. especially in the Never, because I don't know like how to properly build up in the Never so I can like safely venture and stuff. And I'm like looking for blazes in the Never. I can't find them. I know that there's enchantments, but I gotta figure out how to do like farms to like farm levels and stuff. We come first place there? We did. This is King Boo with the Cat Cruiser, in case you were wondering. This was another recommendation. Everything I'm playing today is recommendations that viewers have given me, in case you're just like coming in right now for the first time. So, you know, like, so it's cool. Like, I'm playing that for the first time. I feel like there's more value in video game streaming, really. Which is why I'm a little bit disappointed with certain things I'm seeing in content creation spheres and in VTuber spheres, where there's less focus on that. I would like to see more gaming. I'd like to see less singing. I'd like to see more fun, original ideas that are not like our role-playing, either. I would like to see less drama in general in the communities. Because I'll give an example. I was watching an indie VTuber, I won't give the name, the other day, that was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. And I thought it was a pretty creative content creator. I was trying to learn Yu-Gi-Oh! For the first time. Like, I'm playing Yu-Gi-Oh! For the first time. And I had subscribed to them, because sometimes I'll drop a subscribe, even though I will quietly watch. And what ended up happening was I ended up unsubbing in the same stream to them, because there was somebody that came into the stream, and I guess they were speaking in Japanese, and the creator comes out of nowhere and says, and I understand this because, like, I have this rule too, that please speak in English on the stream, no foreign languages, because this is an English-speaking stream, and we want our viewers to be able to, you know, see and understand everything that's going on in chat, right? But this person, like, that's the way I used to handle it when people would come in and speak different languages on my chat. But what this person did in particular was like, stop speaking in Japanese. You probably aren't even Japanese or even know what you're saying. And I saw that. I unsubscribed automatically after probably being subscribed for like 20 minutes because I thought the content was pretty good up to that point. And I turned away from the stream. There's tack on how you do things too, right? Which is like crazy, like, too. I just don't understand sometimes what shit VTuber says. I could make like a whole video on that. You know? Like, but it's curious, like, it's very interesting, like, just how, like, just VTubers don't have the etiquette, I guess is, I'm not, like, dogging on VTubers, you know, it's just not, no social etiquette, I guess is what I'm saying, and a lot of them don't read the room the way they should read the room, and that's why, like, a lot of stuff becomes, like, toxic and stuff, I guess. Like, I know coming soon is it okay to name drop this person? Sameko Saba? I believe is how you pronounce that. I'm interested to see what they're gonna do content-wise. I will probably watch, but I'm not gonna obviously be an active participant in chat, because I'm no longer active participants in chats. I don't watch as much, but I am curious to see what Saba's gonna do, because I think it's gonna be pretty interesting. There's been some pretty interesting teases to it. You know, so I'm very supportive of what they're gonna do. I don't know what they're gonna do, keep it in mind, but you know, that's about as much as I can say. I'm interested to see what they're gonna do. So that's something that I will probably keep my eyes on and probably watch a clip or two. Every once in a while, I'll still watch Henya. That's as far as I'm watching. Alright, like Master Duel stream, I watched okay to name drop. ERB. You know. They were playing Master Duel because they were playing with Joshua Smith. I watch a lot of Joshua Smith in general, because he was a world champion for a while back. So I like to learn certain things from world champion. Like, Joshua Smith is an interesting character, right? I really like a lot of his opinions on certain things, but I don't agree with every opinion. Like, the Time Wizard format one, I think, was a little bit egregious, just because it's like, he was giving his opinion as somebody that was mostly interested in only modern Yu-Gi-Oh! And didn't play a lot of back then. I've played 25 years of Yu-Gi-Oh! I've played since the beginning of the game. I've even played since OCG days, so a little bit even older than that. So like when I see like that thing, I think it's a bad take. I like his take on Max C. I like his takes on deck building. So like they just happen to be collabing. And ERB has done some interesting Yu-Gi-Oh! Content. Seem like a very good interesting Yu-Gi-Oh fan. I think they're a person that could help. Can I say person? Is that the right term? Or I think they're a creator. Maybe that's a better way to put it. That could definitely do things to help Master Duel's reputation. Because, again, it comes back to, like, everything I said with video games in general. Like, when I watch game streams, I like to watch people who are new to games. Because you get to see it through different eyes as opposed to somebody who's played 25 years. Like, I'm dropping another VTuber that I do watch from time to time that's Master Nova Academy. Nova Academy, I didn't know, actually just recently started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, they played when Master Duel started. And they had never played traditional old-school Yu-Gi-Oh! So they never got to play in the old-school 28 format. So, like, they're playing, which I think is a terrible Time Wizard format because it's not the way that's being played, actually, in TCG at the moment. But, like, they like and enjoyed, like, the old-school Yu-Gi-Oh! Format where the game was much different. I think it's kind of cool to see stuff like that because it's seeing people play for the first time. That interests me. ERB, again, like, not as knowledgeable per se, maybe. So they're, like, learning maybe the game and how to play Modern, and they're learning for more championship. I like that type of stuff because I feel like there's value in those type of things. I would personally like to see more, in general, collabs like that. I will never personally ever understand why the two parties that were involved in that collab, because I don't want to mention specifically, didn't do more with it, because, like, I'm confused. I was very confused by, like, the Master Duel thing for the UK that happened between ERB's group and Konami. Like, originally I was under the impression that ERB, GG, what's the other one's name, CC, Royora, right? It's the other one. I'm sorry, I don't follow these things as much as I should, or necessarily care to. No disrespect to anybody. But, like, I thought they were all four supposed to partake in that tournament. And then, towards the end, it was only ERB that did. So I was like, but I don't understand. What happened? Did, like, a deal fall through? Did people pull out because they didn't enjoy playing the game? Like, I don't know. And then there was, like, other creators that did stuff in Spear. It was like a promotion for Fur Anniversary, and they never did anything else with it. So I was like, well, what was the point in that? Because it doesn't make sense, right? So I felt like it was a wasted opportunity. I don't understand why they didn't have the guys playing Master Duel for that. It just, I don't know, it just felt like maybe they would have been better suited, like, you know, so, but the only one that got really keep playing was ERB. I feel like they should do more with her, but it would be hard to do it, I would assume, based on the length of schedules in general. So, you know, it's hard when you do VTubing and stuff, particularly on that level. You don't have that necessary time. And Master Duel, I feel like the game itself has obviously issues. Thank you for the recommendation with King Boo, by the way. A person who recommended that. Because I really like the Cat Cruiser thing. I felt like I had a pretty easy time. The stages there for a heavy character. King Boo is like pretty metagame from what I've heard. We're gonna go for 2 hours today, just in case you're wondering. So we'll probably have two more matches circuit-wise. I think we'll have time for, and then from there, I'll do like a time trial because I want to beat my own time trial that I have for Rainbow Road. So see what happens. So I'm gonna do Donkey Kong. And the recommendation that I have for Donkey Kong is ironically the same thing. It's gonna be the Teddy Buggy. This one, though, says different wheels. So, this one, the recommendation was the Paper Glider with those wheels. We shall see if this is the right call here. Hopefully it is. We'll play some Donkey Kong stages where we're at it. You know? So it's an interesting experience. Like I said, the channel right now is kind of just going through the reboot phase. Trying to figure out exactly. I'd like to do variety. I know YouTube hates it. I am interested in doing more Twitch streams again in the future. The reason I haven't done them yet is just simply due to the fact of internet connection. Like, I'm trying to sort through internet problems that I've been having. And when the internet kind of settles itself, I will probably start doing Twitch streams. I might try to do a test Twitch stream in the not too distant future, because I do have to continue to keep my affiliate status that I have on there. So it is something that to keep your eyes out, because I do plan to play game and shit and stream on Twitch eventually. Because again, YouTube's kind of weird in the sense that YouTube, like, God forbid I play something that's different, YouTube will punish you because it just wants you to be in a niche. Which is fine, I suppose, if you want to be a niche. But I like variety, because if I had to play the same game all the time... Did the audio cut up there? That was weird. Sorry about that. That was weird. Anyway, I would kind of go crazy if I had to play the same game over and over again. You've seen me play Master Duel for, what was it, like almost 2 months straight without a break from Master Duel, and I need a break from Master Duel because Master Duel, the meta right now it's not great. It's not gonna get better, I'll just be honest with you, because Master Duel is gonna get Ryziels pretty soon. I don't know exactly if they're gonna be in the next pack. I mean, if evidence based on what came out this pack, I think they would probably be the next pack, and Ryziel dominated the TCG metagame. If that blows up in my face, I'm gonna be so peeved. So, like, I don't know, you know? Is he dabbing? Did Donkey Kong just dab on us? But yeah, when Ryziel comes out, the meta is just gonna be Ryziel matches, mirror matches, all the way through, which is gonna be interesting. Also, there'll probably be all the ultra rare cards, so it's gonna be a while before I chase after it, because I'm a free-to-play player, and then Melisse is gonna come out. Probably not the same pack. I assume they're gonna break them up, just to, like, drip feed stuff into Master Duel, because if they release them both at the same time, then you gotta have a pretty... We got sniped in the air, goddammit. And a red shell too? Man, what the hell? They just don't want me to win this race. So, like, the problem is if you release Ryziel and Melisse in the same pack, you have to then do very similar bans and semi-restricts and everything to be able to get the game manageable, because if not, it's going to be one of the worst formats to play in. I know a lot of people complain, but, like, you know, Terra Elements and Kashatira format were like some of the worst Master Duel formats ever, because it was like just deck that were played in high tier just dominated everything, and that's all you saw. So I'm hoping Konami learns from their mistakes with Master Duel in the past and does things. Hopefully what they do, which I think is like the right thing, is they have to release Ryziel in a state which is very similar to how the TCG ban handles it. Because if you curb... Okay, we were able to pull that off. With all those thresholds, I was kind of scared there. Because if you don't do that, like, you don't curb the problem of the deck in the beginning, and you just let run amok, you're going to drive so many players away from the game. Because Ryziel's, like, the end-all be-all at that point. And then, like, Melisse is going to make it worse for a while. And then you're going to have the Mitsurugi is going to pop up, too, so you have Ryziel Mitsurugi deck. So, like, the next couple of formats in Master Duel are going to get to the point where, like, if there's not a lot of correct bans done, there's going to be a lot of people unhappy with the game. There's going to be a lot of people that will probably leave. And, like, rank is going to be kind of miserable to play, too. So I'm hoping Konami will hit things ahead of time when they do get released, just to kind of make it so that it's kind of balanced. It's like, if it's 1 or 2 decks that are dominating the meta and nothing else can be played, it's not going to be good for Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, the current format, as much as people will complain about it, because the World Championships being particularly was dominated by Snake Eyes Fiendsmith and Fiendsmith combos, it's still probably the most varied that you can do. And I'll give you an example, because if you've been following the channel, anything I did with Yu-Gi-Oh! Related stuff, I have played many different decks over the course of the last couple months, like 2 or 3 months. When Fiendsmith came out in his full engine, I did Red Eyes deck with Fiendsmith engine, I did Metamorph deck with Fiendsmith engine, I did the Live Twins, aka Evil Twins, with Fiendsmith engine. I did not Blue Eyes with Fiendsmith engine, that won't work. Did U-Belt with Fiendsmith engine. I didn't use Fiendsmith and Dark Magician, but you could, I suppose, if you want to, but it wouldn't make a lot of sense. I also have done branded variations, because branded came back with the, you know, branded Fusion at 2 and made it a viable deck. I've played Dragon Maids with Bysteals and branded fusions. Like, I've seen people play decks that you wouldn't normally see with Fiendsmith. Like, it's an engine, and it helps a lot of decks out that usually would kind of flounder and flake around. Yes, that is true. You know, but I feel like we have more variety right now. Like, I've seen Mimighoul in Ladder. I've seen Fiendsmith Control, which is just Bysteel and Fiendsmith, and either Primate Dragon or something else to control, and it do well. I've seen Exodia decks do okay. I hate the fact that we have Snake Eyes, but I've seen Snake Eyes do okay. I've seen Turtlements pop up weirdly in mashup decks. Okay. I've seen Slot Piles. I don't care for Slot Piles. I don't think they're very interesting to play against and stuff. I've seen a lot of variety, so I think right now, in terms of Master Duel, despite the fact that the game itself has issues in terms of, like, Max C being around, I don't think it's healthy for the game. I know a lot of people will bitch about that, but I don't think a card like that should really still be in, because there's a reason why it's not in the TCG, because it kind of kills you able to really play first, and it also can kill people who are going second, because it's just too powerful of a card. It's very hard to play around that when, like, the solution to Max C is stop special summoning, right? And don't play your turn, or play thing. But the error problem is, like, okay, that's great, but how do you do that in a Yu-Gi-Oh format in which, if your player is probably going to set up an Omni Negate board, if you don't set up yours first turn? So, you know, that's why I always argue, like, to those people who argue that Max C is balanced. Yes, it stops floodgates, but at the same time, when it does stop floodgates, it's only stopping floodgates so that we lost that one. We finally lost the race today. Wow. We came in third there. There's a lot of shenanigans down the stretch there. My feelings are hurt. I'm good for Daisy. We're gonna give her the slow clap there, my feeling. But, like, I feel like with, like... I lost my train of thought because we lost. But I feel like, you know, with that type of stuff, though, like Max C, like, it's... You know, yeah, it stops your opponent from floodgating, but at the same time, it just secures your floodgate. And, like, that's the thing with the formats. All the formats lately, even in TCG currently, it's floodgate meta, right? So there's not, like, much you can do because everything's a floodgate. Everything ends with you setting up an Omni Negate board, or you countering your whole opponent's first turn with hand traps, so that you can then set up your Omni Negate board. And most games in Yu-Gi-Oh! End on the third turn. Which is kind of why Edison format in particular and GOAT format are so important, and why people were bitching and complaining, myself included, as to why you need the historic legacy formats to still be the way they are, with not the changes with the erratas and follow current rules. Because that back then, and I'll give an example with Master Duel, I was playing that crappy Time Wizard format that they put on, where you could only play with 2008 decks, and I was playing a Gladiator Beast deck, and I played the Lightsworn deck, and most matches, I just can't catch a break. I think I'm potato braining because we played so much at this point. We've played way too much Mario Kart. I'm kind of starting to hit fatigue. I'm forgetting when to hit number 2 correctly. Bathroom, get your mind out of the gutter. So, for me particularly, what ended up happening is, like, you know, I was playing Master Duel in this format, and it's like, hey, I can play Gladiator Beast. Remember when Gladiator Beast decks were fun and you could control the board that way and you could actually play them? You can't play a Gladiator Beast in Master Duel currently. First of all, the deck is too expensive to make. Everything in it's yours, and you wouldn't do well in the format. The other thing with it, too, is that there's just so many other things with Power Creep that it can't handle those boards. So you can't play it this format. But you can play Gladiator Beast to some success in Time Wizard format. And my matches went to like 7, 8, 9, 10 turns. Same thing when I played Lightsworn. My Lightsworn matches went to like 10, 20 turns sometimes. They were good, nice, back and forth based matches where it just wasn't like auto scoop. I mean, sometimes you'd have to auto scoop still, but they were kind of good. Like, I don't understand why they gave those World Championship decks that were pretty bad, though. Because I'll be honest with you, some of the choices in there. And I also won't understand how, with the rules, like it said Fusion Summon for daily, why Contact Fusing, which is basically sending the Gladiator Beast back to the deck for a Fusion Summon, weren't counting for the Fusion Summon. That just doesn't make sense to me, because that is a Fusion Summon. It even says Fusion Summon from the extra deck by sending these 2 Gladiator Beasts back to the deck. I digress, but that's kind of like, you know, back with fun. It would be nice for Yu-Gi-Oh! To somehow find a way to get back to that type of format, like back in the days. But I understand, like with every card game, Yu-Gi-Oh! Wanted to make it look like it's a more complex card game. They wanted to compete with Magic the Gathering. And in doing so, I sometimes feel like they over-complicated their game. It's not complicated for me, because I've played all those eras, so I understand how all those cards work. But, like, it's just not It's weird, right? It's weird, it's weird, it's weird. So, you know, it's just one of those things, guys. It's just one of those things. Where, you know, you kind of hope. What can you do to fix Yu-Gi-Oh right now? It's hard. Like, I would say you need to do a new master rule that limits special summonings. Like, some people will argue that Master Rule 4 almost killed Yu-Gi-Oh entirely with, you know, having the restrictions of the extra deck. But I feel like back then, at least, I mean, there was still, like, Link summoning decks were fucking ridiculous. I just got rid of a shell to get still hit by a blue turtle shell. Are you for real, bro? But I feel like, in particular, like, with that stuff, like, I felt like, in particular, well, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Like, it needs to slow the game down somehow. I don't know how you do that. I really don't. Like, without, like, limiting special summoning. Maybe you have to even decrease the extra deck so that the extra deck doesn't have 15 monsters in it. Maybe reduce the extra deck to 8, 10, I don't know. Maybe change rules as to your opponent can't special summon, or you can't special summon on turn 1, and you can only do that on turn 2 or 3. I don't know. I feel like there's some type of master rule that you have to do. And the problem with it is if you do a master rule that changes the game too much, you're probably going to drive players away. But at the same time, if you keep the game the way it is right now, you're going to drive players away. Like, I looked at Steam charts. I'm not, like, disrespecting Master Duel. I enjoy Master Duel from time to time. But, like, if you look at the Steam charts, most of the stuff that people are saying is, like, it's not fun. Everybody's playing metagame decks. Which is true. The only way to compete is to play metagame decks. You can't really play off-the-wall decks because there's not, like, an actual mode to do that. Another complaint that people have about Master Duel is... I don't really feel like the free-to-play model is bad because I've been a free-to-play player and I've made some amazing, great metagame decks. The deck that I used to qualify for Stage 2 was done strictly for free-to-play. I didn't spend any money for it. I didn't, as they call it, whale for anything. The branded deck that I'm still kind of working on, it's like 90% complete, is something that I did with free-to-play. I didn't spend any money on it. So I think it's, like, when you compare it to, like, Magic the Gathering Arena, which doesn't let you do any of that, it's not free-to-play friendly, like, I feel like, in that retrospect, it's fine, right? Like, you can just do dailies and you're good in that game. But what I don't like, really, is, you know, just, like, I'm with them that I feel like just the game mechanics is just stale. Like, there's that fun, like, you know, and for some people it might be fun, but for me, particular, and I agree with a lot of people, even though I do it myself, it's not fun going like, okay, whoever wins the coin flip wins the game, because it's really like omni-negate boards. Can I hit him with the boomerang? I did. Good. Sniped them out here. I don't remember this stage. I'm playing a lot of stages now towards the end of this that I don't actually play a lot of. I bought the Mario Kart DLC years ago when it came out, the expansion pass, and I played maybe all these stages maybe once or twice. I gotta play more of it. Again, like, I would probably... I don't know if people even be down for it. We'll figure it out somewhere down the road. If I continue to keep playing, like, stuff on this and continue to do content even, because there's always a question of whether maybe I should just bow out at this point. But, like, we could probably in the future do playing with viewers. Like, I know a lot of people want me to do a Master Duel playing with viewers too. And the thing is, like, at the moment, I can't stream and play with viewers. Because, like, the connection sometimes can be a little poopy, and I don't want, like, it to get disconnected. It's something to think about in the future, too. And again, I don't know how much content I'm going to be making in Master Duel in the future. It really depends on what they do with the upcoming set releases and how they tackle bans, restrictions, because if not, I will probably take a break like I did the last time, because, like, I played Master Duel for a while when Blue Eyes Alternate Dragon came out, and when Maiden came out, the original Maiden, and I played, like, and when Sage of Eyes of Blue came out too, and all the new Kaiba support, Blue Eyes support came out, the original one, like, which was, what, 2 years ago? And then, when everything became Tri-Brigade, and Terrorments and Cashier, I took a break from the game. I stopped playing. And then I came back a while back when I came back as a Regi Direct, because I felt like just played Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it had been a while, and I was still playing, you know, physical TCG Yu-Gi-Oh! I felt like coming back, and we played for a while. But I feel like I might be getting to the point where I'm just going to probably take a long break again for something else. Because I feel like, I don't feel like I want to believe that the formats is gonna get better, but I feel like it's gonna get worse. And it really depends on the bans and the semi-restrictions and stuff. Which is a shame, but I know that's probably gonna happen. So, you know, you move on to our game. So I look at stuff and be like, well, what's the next game to really move on to? I'm not really, like, interested in a lot of new games that are coming out. I'm more interested in playing older stuff because of that. I'm surprised we won the cup. I don't feel like we played that very well, because we did lose that cup in 3rd place, but hey, 55 points is still pretty respectable, in my personal opinion. I don't know, maybe I'm not thinking straight. So we'll play I think one more cup we have enough time for, and then we'll play, like, a solo race, and then I'll bid everybody a fond farewell. But yeah, like, with new games, I'm not really interested in anything new. Resident Evil 9, my computer's not going to be able to handle it. Monster Hunter Wilds, I've stayed for a reason why I'm not playing the game. There's a reason for that I can't discuss. The other thing about Monster Hunter Wilds is it's just not a lot of content in the game. That's why it's had as big of a drop-off in the player base as it's had. The other thing, too, for me, it's like, what are games? Repo I wasn't interested in. I knew it was going to be a fad. Dead by Daylight, Five Nights at Freddy DLC came out. I would like to try that out. I don't have the DLC. Behavior's probably not going to throw me a code for that. I don't know if I'm going to buy it, because it's, again, it's... When it comes to Dead by Daylight, I don't like to buy DLC if I'm only going to play, like, the killer once. I'm never going to play it again. Which happens sometimes. It's happened with killers in the past. I don't play Dead by Daylight as much as I used to, too, because I don't enjoy Dead by Daylight like I used to. It's very similar to the kind of why I don't play or why I'm kind of playing less Master Duel, too. And why I don't play Diablo 4. I just... Like, Dead by Daylight, a lot of the changes that they've made are not changes that I necessarily like or agree with. One particular change that I didn't like is where if you die on the hook intentionally because you just want to go to the next one, that they punish you for it and give you, like, a disconnect. Or they give you a penalty, so you can't join the match. There are sometimes where killers will intentionally face camp you, will intentionally, like, hound you down, and will intentionally, like, bully you to blood point farm you. And you can kind of tell in them, or you get a match where you get paired up with people who don't want to do the objective or disconnect, and now, or they're, like, off doing their own and they're not. And I'm talking more so solo queue, because this doesn't happen in, obviously, Discord calls that people do, which I'm always kind of a bit on the fence with that, too, because I don't feel like when you're playing Dead by Daylight, you should, like, I Survive with Friends on Discord's always, like, makes, for me personally, I feel like if on the killer side of things, it unbalances the game, because the survivors have information about what's going on that you wouldn't normally have by playing through the game, you know, regularly without the use of Discord. And that became kind of the prevalent way for people to play Dead by Daylight, so solo queue, you know, you get stuck at it, and then sometimes you have somebody off doing their own objective, or not doing the objective, or not doing a gen, or just hiding the whole time, and it makes for a bad experience. So they decided to do something about that, right? And so now, like, if you try to kill yourself on the hook in the beginning to just GG next to go to a better game, they're going to punish you for that, which I don't agree with, because I feel like if you don't have fun playing a match, you should be allowed to leave and not have an option like, oh, well, it's the end of the match and you're all slugged, then you can forfeit out. That doesn't cut it for me, because there's sometimes in Dead by Daylight when the game from the very beginning is a completely unwinnable situation and you're stuck forced to play that game and you don't want to. And now the other thing too is, like, they're doing something towards the end. So, like, let's say the killer is, like, face camping or proximity camping the hook and you can't get to him and you can't do gens. They're going to punish you for doing that, for, like, hiding and waiting for the other survivor to die. So, like, they're going to have the crows manifest quicker to give your location away. And I don't feel like that's fair, because there are situations where, particularly if you're a content creator and you're trying to get a win on stream, because people really only care in Dead by Daylight if you're getting escapes, or if you're getting, you know, 4K kills. That's just kind of how it is when people watch Dead by Daylight. I know from various other countries play. I don't agree with the change of the crows because that it, like, me, who could be doing something stealthy to try to see if I can make the save, or if it's not a completely unwinnable situation, at least get the hatch, or my opponent is trying, or not my opponent, but my teammate is trying to give me the hatch, that I will, thank you also for the recommendation with Daisy with the wheels. This is like super meta. It was the 0 wheels. But other people recommended her. I don't know if they just want me to suffer Mario Kart or what it was, but we'll take what we can, right? But for me personally, when it comes to like Dead by Daylight, that change in particular killed it. They did the anti-face camping one, which was fine. But I don't know what's defined. Like, there were so many different changes to the game, and I don't think those were the right changes. I felt like the changes had to be more like... They'd even change Moris too, right? So now you can Mori the second down survivor and the last down survivor. So Mori's base kit. So they did away with the Moris, which I think is okay. But, you know, it's just like... They changed Michael Myers. Felt like he's a little bit better. He's a little bit worse. They changed a lot of killers around. They changed perks a lot. And I feel like every time they change the perks, it's good that it's not over-centralized anymore. But there's some perks that you got changed, and they're like meme build type of things. So it's like, why you changed that? Did it need to be like that? And like the other thing is like some of the new survivors that they're introducing, some of the new killers, it's just like I don't care for. Like Five Nights at Freddy's, I've played the game. I've played up to part 4. I understand the lore and stuff. Springtrap. Like, when I thought we were doing Five Nights at Freddy, I thought it wasn't going to be Springtrap. It was just going to be, like, the rest of the characters. Like, I thought we were going to play as Freddy Fazbear or have a skin or something like that. It's Springtrap. So for me, it's like, I don't care for Springtrap. My least favorite Five Nights at Freddy's is Five Nights at Freddy's 3. My favorite one is Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I think 2 has the best gameplay, in my opinion. It's a lot of fun. So that's the one I like. So not having... like, the characters that I would have been interested as playing as kind of killed my interest there for playing it. This looks nothing like New York, coming from somebody who lives in New York City. We're not doing too hot right now. We're gonna have to hope we can turn this one around. And, like, there was the Lich King from Dungeons & Dragons. I don't play Dungeons & Dragons, so, like, that's a killer I didn't know anything about, so I didn't care for that. Chucky, they nerfed, which was my favorite killer, and they keep nerfing him to the ground. They took away his hidey hole where he can, you know, run underneath the pallets, and they keep nerfing everything about him to the point that he's, like, not fun to play anymore. And, like, I enjoyed Chucky. I was playing for a while, exclusively Chucky in Dead by Daylight, and they kind of nerfed him. And then I was like, well, I don't want to play him anymore. And what other killer came out? I got the Unknown. The Unknown was okay. I think it was one of the more fun original killers of a while, but I feel like all the killers lately, too, their powers are very similar. Like, I got... After Chucky, he was the only licensed character I got. Dracula from Castlevania, because he was one of the only interesting characters, in my opinion. And that's my opinion, right? So I got Dracula, but Dracula, you know... I don't know, I wasn't as impressed, guys. I guess that's what I'm saying. I feel like a lot of the DLC, like, oh, Lara Croft and Nicolas Cage, I don't care. I don't play a lot of Survivor anymore. I just said why I don't play Survivor. Geralt came in, right? He was the newest guy that's out. Again, I don't care. They had an original Survivor. I don't care. I like only care for original survivors when they're in a chapter that's with an original killer. If it's not an original killer and survivor, like, whatever. You know, the last original survivor that killer they gave out was what, the woman with the dog. I forgot her name, the Houndmaster, and that was a pretty lame killer. Like, she's hard to use, not fun to use. So I didn't, like, a lot of stuff that's coming in Dead by Daylight, it's like, I haven't cared for it. So, like, I'm bored with it. Like, maybe I check out Springtrap if I have the funds and I'm able to do it in the future. You know, and I feel like it, or maybe when it goes on sale, it's like $4.99 anyway. It's a pretty cheap DLC. But, like, I don't have the urge to play Dead by Daylight. Like, if I'm doing in customs with friends, it's different. But, like, with people, with strangers online, solo queues, no. Or to play against Swift and his killer side, I don't feel like it. You know, I played a lot of Dead by Daylight. I had like 400 or 500 hours in it, and I think Master Duel actually overtook it on my Steam list. You know, it's just like it's not the same experience as it was before. And everything that I like to play and the way I like to play the game, They don't want you to play the game that way anymore. So it's like, well, why am I gonna play? So that's why I haven't really bought or done anything in Dead by Daylight. You know, it's like Diablo 4 again. In Diablo 4, I'm not interested. It's all about microtransactions. I don't care. Look at the Berserk event. It didn't interest me. Just a microtransaction for us. None of the builds are interesting in Diablo 4 to me. They're all kind of the same builds. They introduce uniques I don't care for. An expansion that I don't care for. I had the story spoiled for me, and it's fine. So how do you have a Vessel of Hatred DLC, and you're assuming you're gonna fight Mephisto, and you never fight Mephisto in it? Like, doesn't make any sense to me personally. I don't care for it. It's not great. You know, I don't like the new class they put, the Spearborn. It's like, I rather have the Witch Doctor. I rather have, I don't know, the Crusader. Or the Paladin. One of the two. Give me either of them. Maybe they get the Paladin in the next one, maybe. Or something like a Dark Knight, maybe. But, like, everything they do with the game, I'm not interested or on board with. Not interested in the expansions, yearly expansions for $40. And then it's very little content. Like, the Vessel of Hatred content's, like, very, very low. Like, I don't even know what they're thinking there. And then their seasons suck. And it's just to try to sell you the Battle Pass. They've taken less of the free rewards out. It's just like, Diablo 4 is a mess. It's like, I played base game, experienced the story, gave it a chance for 5 seasons to see if it turned around, and they didn't. And it's like, if you sell me the expansion for like $5 on a super discount sale, sure, maybe I'll play it. Or if you give me like a discount on a bundle when you stop your 10-year plan with this game, because I wouldn't play this game for 10 years. You know, so for me, it's like, I don't care. And then Diablo 3 is already done, so what can I really do in that? So that's why I don't play that anymore. Sometimes I play simulator games. I haven't played American Truck Simulator because the computer is kind of touch and go. I might visit it again in the future. There was a train simulator game that was interesting on the Switch, but I never saw reviews for it, so I didn't know if it was shovelware, so I never bought that. Binding of Isaac, I really would like to get back to doing, too. So I haven't, like, seriously... I still need to finish Binding of Isaac. I've been playing Binding of Isaac for... I've had Binding of Isaac since it came out on Nintendo Switch. I have the Repentance DLC. Unfortunately, they haven't given us the Repentance Plus DLC. I was hoping with the Switch 2 release, we're finally going to get, like, the update that will give us the Repentance Plus update. I don't even so much care about the online multiplayer aspect of it. I just care for, like, the balances that it does. So, like, I haven't been able to finish it. Like, we haven't gotten Death God. We finally unlocked Satan, and then we finally unlocked Isaac boss fights, and we also did... Is it Hush? Hush's boss fight, too. So I'm getting closer to finishing it, but I would love to go back to doing it and unlocking more items, because I kind of want to play Isaac again. I haven't played it in a while. Jump Force, which I'm thinking maybe doing next stream. I'm not 100% sure. People would be interested in watching me play Jump Force on Switch. I know it's like a dead game, but I'm just thinking of like fun, different things to do. Like Rocket League has the anniversary update. I mean, maybe we could play Rocket League. I'm not very good at Rocket League. I don't know if anybody here plays Rocket League, so maybe we could do something there. Party Animals I don't play anymore because there's a lot of cheaters. I think the game is dead, if I'm not mistaken. I have to like take a look at it. I haven't played Party Animals a long time. I'm surprised it's even still around. Also, I got pissed with Party Animals because it like got heavily into microtransactions, and then I paid for Pass before, so that kind of like turned me off from Party Animals. Same thing with Fall Guys. I don't play Fall Guys anymore because it attracts like a lot of chibis. I'm not interested in trying to attract that audience personally. And the other thing too, I guess you could say this stream was like me talking about state affairs of the channel, but at least you kind of understand my thought process a little bit as to why I do things I do on the channel. That's gonna be so bad for us. Got hit by the blue shell to then get hit by the red shell. Take that. Take that. Another one. I just got hit with one. Are you kidding me? Shenanigans? Is it because I'm playing the most meta character that you can play in this game at this point? Oh, I guess Diddy Kong technically is as well as meta. Uh-oh. Let's go. I mean, light character on Teddy Bear on the best wheels. Let's do this. Okay, good. Yeah, but, you know, I think we're gonna hit this. Is this the... Yeah, fish point. Alright, we won that one. Daisy! triumphed big time in those matches. That was like so fast. I blinked and it was over. Alright, thank you for that recommendation of playing exactly the metagame tires. I knew somebody that gave the recommendation gave the right tires. I mean, everybody likes to play their own things, right? They like certain things to be added. Daisy's my favorite character in Mario Kart, in case you don't know, so that's kind of cool that I got that suggestion. It was a pretty easy day at the office today. I'll do, like, a time trial. I want to try to beat the high score with this build on Daisy, or we'll see if we can do it. Hopefully I don't mess up. And that'll be the last thing that we do for the day. But yeah, I want to go back to doing Isaac. I'll look into some other games. I have a lot of games on the Switch. Tons and tons and tons of games on the Switch. Some of which you've never seen me play. Like, Enter the Gungeon, excuse me, is another roguelike. But I don't... It's a hard roguelike. Like, I've never been able to get past the third floor. Like, it's really, really, really hard. I think it's harder than Binding Isaac, in my opinion. So I've, like, I stopped playing it because I got discouraged at that game, but maybe we could go back and try something like that. Streets of Rogue, Part 2 is going to come out eventually, but Streets of Rogue is something on Switch that's pretty fun. I can't really play Burnout Paradise because there's licensed music in that, and I'm pretty sure I'll get DMCA'd. And we could turn off the music for that, but the problem is that it's kind of boring, and then I'd have to play music, and then there's always, if you play music yourself, sometimes they say it's royalty-free, and somebody will copy or will do bogus content strikes on things. So that's why I don't do that thing. If I sound one of these, I have to blow my nose. I'm not gonna do that stream. And plus, no match, right? So, you know, there's that. There's stuff like that. I don't know, man. So we'll figure it out as we go. There will be still Yu-Gi-Oh! Don't worry. Probably once a week for the time being. I'm not sure what day I'm gonna do it to. But I'm thinking maybe Minecraft next one. If not Minecraft. Okay, we're off to a good start. And if we don't do Minecraft, we'll do... Ghost beat me, man. Yep, that's my Ghost. Fastest time was 1:37 on this track. I know you could cheat the system here. I don't remember how to do it. I actually never done it. Again, super casual Mario Kart player. I played just for the fun of it. That was bad. We messed up big time this one. We're not gonna be able to get it. We might have to boost here just to get a better run going. Yeah, but we'll figure it out. Or Binding Isaac, one of the two. I mean, Jump Force, I think, will bring in some weebs. We could talk about how broken the game is and how bad it is. It runs interesting on the Switch. And by interesting, I mean it's not the most chill, great experience. This is my favorite track in the game, by the way, in case you're wondering. Hopefully we could beat our high score. Alright. Hopefully this don't... I was worried about that. But we lost this race. Right at the end, too. I think we were going to beat the high score. Gotta hate when that happens, man. Well, we lost to our Ghost. That's okay. We're going to try until we beat the score. I'm confident we could do it. We just had a bad... We let the momentum carry us there. That was on me. Gotta lose. You gotta take some L's in a day, right? Let's not stress it. Daisy does look cute on the teddy bear there, too. Mario Tennis would be interesting. I know somebody suggested it. I own Mario Tennis on Switch. I never bought it. Because, like, Mario sports games and me... Like, okay, maybe you could say Mario Kart falls under sports because they're racing. But, like, sports Mario games have never been, like, my interest. Like, I like the Mario Striker Soccer, but I used to be terrible at it. Like, I have Mario Party, Super Mario Party. I don't have the other one. What is it? Mario Party Slamboree? Jamboree? I don't know. They made so many Mario Party games on Switch. I don't have that one. I haven't bought it. Again, like, a lot of my Switch games are either, like, Pokemon related, indie game related. I have South Park, Fracture But Whole, and also Stick of Truth. But I don't know how we would be able to play it on stream without getting in trouble by YouTube, because obviously South Park, shit. Well, maybe we should restart here, because I don't think we're going to beat the score that way. Right. Maybe we can turn it around. Let's not give up just yet. I got fallen off the edge again, but that probably is GG for us. But, yeah. You know, so it would be hard to do it. So I would love to play the South Park, both those games. I don't have Snow Day. I'm waiting for it to drop in price a lot more. Because I suspect Snow Day at one point is going to be like a $5 game. It's a matter of time. I could even suspect the physical version of it's eventually going to be. AEW Fight Forever is one that's suggested a lot. I could play it probably on the Switch. I usually... Yeah, let's just restart. We did with that one. It's doable. It is doable. But I would wait for, like, a major discount. Because, like... And I heard it's not that good of a game anyway. But I have been interested in it. You know, it depends, right? We'll just play and see, right? We're gonna vibe and see. We'll still play card games. I'll try to test more stuff on my computer. Try to sort. And, you know, just... As I say, be patient if you're a viewer of the channel and you've been here a while. Because, you know, it's not as simple as it is. You know, we're still working through tech issues. We're still trying to... And there's an adjustment period, too, I understand. Not everybody's happy about the lack of the VTuber model now. I mean, like, distancing myself from VTubing. Just fine. I understand it's an adjustment period for everybody, but I think ultimately, at the end of the day, this is going to work out better for us. Better for what I want to do, better for us as a community, and just, you know, better in terms of opportunities to work with people, too. Because we don't have to worry about, like, some of the restrictions that we had to worry about before, right? Like, the only thing is, like, we probably won't work with VTubers on the channel, I don't think. I don't know. Maybe Countess, if it ever happens, it could be a possibility, but, like, I'm not, like, super open to working with VTubers now. You know, some people have suggested stuff to me. Some people have pitched stuff to me as well. I've just not been receptive to it. And I don't... I'm trying to super distance myself, because I just want to be here on my island. I'm not going to take that jump, because that's what killed me last time. I think that we got it. I think we got it. I think we got it. And I didn't boost any of that. Imagine had I boosted there, guys. Alright, we got the new record here. Let's go. Alright, that is going to do it for today. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I hope you enjoyed Mario Kart 8. I had a blast playing it. I had a blast talking about all these non-taboo topics. If you liked what you saw here, make sure to leave a comment. Make sure to like. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel grow and helps the algorithm. And I will see you all for the next one. Till next time, guys.